So good afternoon everyone, welcome back for a new season of the Republic of Motorsport. I am delighted to be joined once again by the one, the only Mr. Connor. How are you on this Sunday afternoon, sir?
I'm doing good, and I'm excited to get this new season underway. Russia's it's not a track we normally see at the start of the season. We've got a mixed up calendar coming up for you, and yeah, excited for this one. And we very nearly got a full grid as well.
It's probably one of the better turnouts we've had, and Rooney and co have been working hard on the recruitment process over the off season to get a few more drivers in, hopefully a few to challenge the establishment, shall we say, around the Republic of Motorsport competition. Of course, the champion has dropped his hat and he's left the building, so it is open season in terms of the Drivers' Championship, Matt. And who are we expecting to be the prime protagonists this season?
Well, you got your obvious suggestion, and that is Rooney, because he was there last season and he was pushing Stubbsy all the way to the very end. He'll definitely be looking to get it done this time around. We got some other fast drivers in here as well, though. We've got James in here, who's looking quite competitive. We've got Vettel, he could be up there if he works on that consistency a little bit. And maybe Westerns as well. There's definitely a few drivers to be expecting up at the front.
It's going to be definitely an open season, and Rooney is the man with a target on his head this year, and it's going to be the benchmark, we do believe. A few new additions, Matt, which we're going to have to look out for in the course of this race, and some new driver pairings as well, so some new dynamics to look forward to.
We got a few new drivers up on the list, and we'll see how they perform. It's always interesting how the new drivers they fit into that dynamic. We'll see if they've got clean or dirty racecraft, if they're fast or slow. We'll see how they can affect this title challenge.
So just one to note that Will Spur will be joining the session late, and Will Spur was a game of tag change. He was formerly known as K-Mag. He's dropped K-Mag and has gone to Will Spur, so that's one change to look out for. Tricky track this one, Sochi. Where are the key battlegrounds around the circuit, Matt, and what are the do's and don'ts of this circuit?
Key battlegrounds, we're looking at the two DRS straights, they're the big ones. That's the rundown towards the first corner, the first proper braking zone, and then I think it's turn 13, but at the end of that second DRS straight, you can have a look down the inside to try and get the move done. And a few do's and don'ts. Do get all up on the curbs. They're all pretty flat here, and you can absolutely muller them. You can get right on them and abuse those track limits. Don't do what I've just watched Vettel do. Excellent example there from the Rebel driver. And cut the corner. Very easy to pick up those track limit penalties here, and I think we're going to see plenty of them in the race in a quarter of an hour's time.
Yeah, one of the tracks where you do have to definitely go hard or go home, and it'll definitely bite you in the rear end. Too many track warnings around here. Remember, 3 strikes and you will get a penalty. Of course, we're in a short qualifier now, 14 minutes remaining, and yeah, very easy to invalidate. And we've seen a few cars already do that early on. No times yet on the board. We're just riding with Lucky Lambert. It is his lucky day as he rockets down into his turn 1. He's used a bit of that inside curve, not too much on the outside. Carry as much speed as you can through this corner. This long left-hander with all the world's flags. Of course, the Sochi Autodrome is centered around the Olympic Village here, and our first time on the boards are coming in thick and fast. 31.5 for Despicable Dogs, and then Elpelen with a 31.8.
AlphaTauri is getting the laps in earlier than everyone else, and that will make sure they've got time for those extra runs later on. Lucky Lambert's still pushing on. He's in the middle sector as Tommy Reel now goes fastest on the 1 minute 30.2, and he's well clear of the two AlphaTauris, so maybe a bit more pace to be seen on those AlphaTauri cars. We're on that back straight now. This is one of those main overtaking opportunities that we're going to be looking out for come race day, and it'll be here, this corner, where you can go late on the brakes and get down the inside, and you might see a few battles that carry on into this final sector.
Yeah, we'll be looking for the switchback. Quite a few lines through this final sector. This corner and the next, though, quite off camber. Very easy for the back end to step around, and for Spinala time here around Sochi. These final couple of corners, another 2 attempts to invalidate the car, even into this last corner here. after all of that hard work to keep it clean. A short run up to the line, and it's Lucky Lambert into P2 with a 31.1. But still a big step there to Tommy Rill, and let's try and check in with the man who we're expecting to be the key challenger this year for that coveted driver's crown. Can't get my words out today. In the Republic of Motorsport, he's repping new colours. He was in the Mercedes, he switched to the McLaren this year, and nice refreshing changes. Rooney in sector 3. What's it going to be?
Into the final couple of corners and invalidates his ladder. It just took too much curb, like we were saying when we were on board with Lucky Lambert. Just took too much on the inside, invalidated his lap, and he'll have to go out again. And I think he's not going to do that this time, so he'll make his way back to pit lane and have another attempt later in the session.
So Westerns has put himself into the 30s as well, a 30.6. He's so far best of the rest. Plenty of time to go. Track Evolution will play its part as well towards the end of this session. And still just over 11 minutes remain. Here's Vettel up to the line. Is he going to set a lap time? Yes, he does. And he's the third man into the 1 minute 30s.
The one to watch out for here, is it a high one? Is there a high chance of rain here, or we're looking like we're going to probably get a dry race?
Well, Mother Russia always throws up a good bit of weather, of course, on the coast here, and yeah, probably a high probability. We'll have to check the chat to see if we can get a weather forecast of some of the guys. Yanni Jans does a 31.4 for his bank lap.
We've got 12 cars to set a lap so far in the first 8 minutes of session, 10 to go, and still some of those fast guys yet to set a lap. I think one of them may have just set a time there. I don't see who though, that's unfortunate.
I do believe that was... I've lost him now.
Someone set a lap time and they improved and they jumped up the order. Excellent commentary here.
Always the cutting edge. And Lorne back in pit lane, racing Carl, looks like he's on a lap, so we'll ride on board with him on a tour of the Sochi Autodrome. F1's been knocking on the door of Russia for a very long time before we came here, and the previous winners include Mercedes over the years. And who won it last year, man? Do you remember?
Last year, 2020, let's have a think. Well, we could. I think it was a Mercedes, actually.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Lewis got a couple of penalties, I do believe, for, was it some practice starts on the exit of the pit lane?
Yeah, that was great to watch Hamilton getting penalties. I know me and Rich have a difference of opinion when it comes to favourite driver, so
who's your favourite
I enjoyed
driver?
it, he did. My favourite, last season it was Vettel. It had been for a while. But I don't know. I normally support one of the Ferrari drivers, so I might end up with being a Carlos fan this year.
Oh, what is it with Charles you don't like then? I thought that would be a definite shoe-in for you.
I don't know. There's something about him. I don't know. And I like Carlos anyway. He's a funny guy, and he had that Carlos and Mando relationship for a while.
So only, we've got 4 cars yet to set a lap time so far. Givad's currently in P19 will be the next up to the line to set a representative time. No, he won't. And we'll just start again. So it's currently Tommy with a 30.2, Weston's a 30.6, as well as James Dyslexic. Yeah, 3 cars there, all in the 30.6s. Good sign of things to come.
Speaking of good signs, I've not got one here. Because Guvitsab on my screen, if I look at the timing in the top right, he's in sector 1 and apparently he's been there for 1 minute and 40 seconds. Now it's just reset.
Yep,
So
copy that. This should be a good lap.
He's flying on this one, Guvitsab. Go on, son. We want Williams to get back up there. This is all they needed. They just need to hire this guy.
We've got a couple having a little picnic there, El Pullen and someone else on the end of the second DRS straight.
Always a good social event here at Elite Racing. Maybe not that kind of social event.
Oh, yeah. Meet up in the car park. Yeah, no dodgy business at all. So here comes Mr. Rooney. He's going to kick us off with a lap down this extra long straight, rocketing down into, I always say turn 1, but this is turn 1 that we're sweeping through. Not much of a turn in a Formula 1 car, it would be in your GT cars, etc. As we come down into this heavy braking zone, all the way down to 3rd gear, get on the power nicely, into 4th, 5th, all the way up through 7th, and up to 8th. As far left as you can without invalidating, very easy to do on the left hand side there. Clip the inside curb, use as much exit as you can without tapping the wall, and then 90-degree right hander. We've got a few 90-degree right handers. Connor Beer's favourite.
Yeah, it's Silky designed this circuit, didn't he? So that probably explains it. He quite enjoys the complexities of the 90-degree right and left handers, no biasness to either direction. And here's one of them now as we arrive into, well, we're coming towards the final sector. I'm on to the straight that isn't straight. I don't know why it's not straight, it just means it's a bit weird trying to get alongside from the driver, because they're moving from one side of the track to the other. Into purple in sector 2 then for Rooney as he arrives now in that final sector, and it's a tricky little sector, lots of off-camber corners, a very tricky acceleration zone there. Avoid the orange curb on both sides here, I think, because they'll just send you flying, and you don't want to do that, I've found, in a Formula 1 car. Final 2 corners is where Rooney invalidated first time, gives it plenty of space this time to make sure he's going to get that lap in. Oh, locked up there, just way into the final corner, cross the line, and it's P2 at 1 minute 30.5.
Oh, this is excellent. I'm very impressed with that. So Tommy, give yourself a pat on the back. An excellent lap there, 30.2. So it's currently Tommy, Rooney, Lambert has jumped up, Weston's, James, Dyslexic and Vettel all in the 1 minute 30.9. Lorne is about to set a lap time, I do believe, and put himself up into P7 and join the 1 minute 30 dead club. 5 minutes left. One more chance, one more blast. Who shall we follow?
Who's on a lap? We got Weston's is invalidated, so we probably ought to not go there. Let's go with Ludlow, seeing as he's near to the line. That's why we picked Ludlow, because he's just slid into the barriers.
Oh, I did pick Ludlow. I picked Dyslexic, and he's gone P2 with him at 1 minute 30.3. A big lap there from Dyslexic. Lovely one.
Beat job there from Dyslexic. Yeah, I went on board with Ludlow, and as I did, he slid into the wall. So good to see that the commentator's curse has followed us into the new season. The other Altari of pulling on a push lap coming towards the end of his lap, is he? Nope, he's going to pull into pit lane. Excellent, which means no one's on a hot lap. Excellent. Everyone going for the soft tyre though, no variation in strategies in qualifying. Of course, anyone outside the top 10 will get that free tyre choice though for the race, so they might choose to go for something different. What would you say is the preferential strategy around here?
Pretty straightforward. One stop, soft to mediums. The mediums you can probably drive them for as long as you want around here. Well, saying that, you know, in my recent league race, I decided to do 25 laps on the hard tyre, just for good fun. And here comes Yanni Hands onto a lap. I did recommend the mediums because it was pain, man.
Yeah, you can say it was for a bit of fun. I very much doubt it was. You were on pretty much the whole race. Yanni Hands through the first couple of corners then in his Renault, currently P13, looking to improve. And, he's very close to pulling ahead of him on the timing sheet as well, so doesn't have to improve by much to knock himself up the order. He is just slightly improving as we reach the end of the first sector there. Into sector 2, it's very wide coming out of that right hand. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be getting out wide there and maximising those track limits. Obviously just watching out for the invalidation. Good exit here to get onto the straight and then open the DRS that you can fly and carry. Maximum speed, Yanni Hands in the runner takes the shortest line. That'll just shave a few thousandths of a second off his lap time. And he's a tenth up come the end of the second sector. Lock up there into the right hander, back round to the left, off camber, watch the curve on the exit, it's not a nice one, and then here, this is a tricky little corner, very off camber, set yourself up nicely for the right, use all the space on the exit, watch for the wall, it comes out to meet you, short blast before back on the brakes, penultimate corner, and then final turn, brake 90-degree right-hander on the throttle, and he improves by 0.3 to go 10th fastest.
Dunsworth has had enough and has retired from the session. We'll not see him any longer. A hive of activity, Matt. All drivers are getting out for a last blast at it. One more lap remaining, and should we decide who's on the lap at the minute? Let's ride with Vettel until we get some of the front runners on a push lap. Who do we expect? Who will be your pick for pole, chaps? Do let us know in the comments below.
Rooney down in P4 at the moment. I was expecting him to be a little bit higher than that, but maybe he's still got some time in it. He only, I think he's only set one lap so far, so we'll expect to see him jumping up the order late on in the session, as we've got pretty much every car out on track, so we're going to have to watch for traffic here as well. They've all left it quite late to go out, to be fair, and I think someone might get a bit caught out here by the traffic.
It looks like the Mercedes might be trying to employ a tow tactic there together. Quite a few of the cars in synchronization. Watch out for that as it develops. Yellow flags out. I think just cars moving slow. No one in trouble as it stands. That was going to come around for his last attempt, we think. And up to that line, a short blast, and whoa! Pole position, original pole.
Sebastian Vettel took a lot of pole positions in his time at Red Bull. We've got RSF1 Vettel here, and he's on provisional pole in his Red Bull. I'm just watching the last Ferrari car, SLR Daisy, and he's getting a lot of traffic building up at the end of the lap here, on his outlap. Might be a bit touch and go whether he makes the line. I think he will, but they're all so close together here.
It's up to see it. If someone sneezes, makes a wrong decision, has a little moment, you know, you're probably going to follow them in sympathy or become a cropper. Everyone now on a flyer, it seems. As the clock ticks down to 0, checkered flag will be up for the session now. Time to shine, boys.
With dogs across the line goes P10. He was the first one to finish his session. Will at absolute best be 10th fastest. Who have we got next? It's a racing point of James. He's a 10th up at the end of the second sector. What can he now do in those final few corners? Is it through the penultimate one into the final corner? Runs out of battery, but you don't need it because it's such a short run to the line. He improves to go 7th fastest. Remained P15. We got the Mercedes coming up next. Razzi's invalidated his lap, so it'll be Lawn next up to the line, who I don't think is improving. He's going to bail off into pit lane, is he? Yes, he is.
Weston's had a moment on his lap. He went around, right round, baby, and he will not improve on his time. We're going to stay on board with Rooney. You always know he loves a pole position. Stubbsy last year took the majority of the share, and this year he'll be looking to do so himself. Final few turns looking good so far. ERS almost out of deployment, and around the final corner kisses it nicely. Little drift around the final corner, and it's 5th.
Only a P5 then for Rooney. I thought he was going to be higher up than that. Dyslexic, I will say, improved his lap by 2/10, but invalidated it right at the end. So he stayed P3. He had the pace of pole, couldn't convert that into actually getting pole. Expected things within the race, and is that qualifying complete?
That is your lot here for Sochi qualifying, and a thoroughly interesting qualifying session. Vettel taking it with a 1 minute 30.209 to Tommy Reel's 30.221, and we had a 30.3 from Dyslexic, Daisy with a 30.3 as well, and Rooney is probably the shock of the day, I would say, Matt, down in position 5 with some work to do. Also, a long run down into turn 1 where you can really make up for it. But yeah, congratulations, Tommy Reel. I'd say qualifier of the day for me. Very impressed with him.
Yeah, some very good showings out there. We'll see what Rooney can do in a race from that P5 slot. We saw at the end of last season. He's no stranger to having to make a few overtakes. And we saw that in Brazil when he had to pass those midfield cars in his attempts to keep his title hopes alive. And then we had that crazy Abu Dhabi finale with the safety cars. And yeah, there you go. Final qualifying order for you there on screen.
So it finished Vettel, Tommy, Dyslexic, Dacey, Rooney, Lambert, James, Westerns, Lorne, Despicable Dogs, and Yanni Jans will have a free tyre choice in P11, as well as Aki, Drazi, Ludlow, Pullen, Givets, Fronhalf, Dunsworth, Racing Cole, and we expect the old K-Mag in his new gamer tag to round out the grid.
Was just there wasn't much in it at the top. There was there Tommy Real just 12 hundredths of a second behind Vettel. So that's going to be a close one. One to watch out for in the race, which will be coming up in a few moments' time. Do we get a break in this one? Is there like a 5-minute gap, or do we go straight into the action? I never remember.
Yeah, we all have short-term amnesia when it comes to these things. I think we do have a short break in between. Find out, I'm sure.
Lovely. Oh, that's a good sign. Oh, that is a brilliant sign. Oh, you love to see it.
That's a pleasant surprise, isn't it, Matt? You was talking about the weather in Sochi, down by the coast of the Black Sea, near the mountains, and it's brought a beautiful, delightful thunderstorm here to the circuit today. That is proper rain.
Oh, the precipitation, and Despicable Dogs has not got the memo. He's readied up already, and this is the worst conditions for readying up too soon, because there'll be people who are now trying to make the final tweaks to their setup, maybe choosing different fuel loads. Strategy you don't need to worry about. You kind of make that up as you go when it's raining. But maybe we saw Rooney a little bit down the order, perhaps with a wet setup on, or maybe a bit more biased towards the rain than anyone else. That might be why. We'll see.
And we've got an orange orca, probably going to be most at home. An orca obviously lives in the water, and yeah, this is proper rain. Here we go, on the formation lap. This is going to be critical. This is why we do formation laps, chaps. In these kind of conditions, you really want to be feeling your way around the circuit, where you can brake, where you're locking up. And is that full wet I'm seeing, Matt?
Yes, you are. It is raining so hard right now that we've had to push extreme wet with the compound. And better, you can see that he's already gone deep into that first corner. Orange Orca's not had the greatest start. He was trying to find his way back to the ocean, and the track marshals were just like, no, you need to get back, and he's been told to wait on the grid. But I'm thinking that run down to the first corner, we might see a few DNFs with the slip and slide.
Yeah, it's a big unknown. Of course, they would have been practicing hour upon hour in dry conditions where to brake. You know, they probably put 50 plus laps in of practice, but then when it comes to the wet conditions, especially off the line down into turn one, you don't know where it's going to be the braking point. So you're going to have people braking early, more opportunistic people trying to brake later, send one up the inside. And as we can see from the strategy here, Matt, it's a real split between a 1 or a 2 stop, depending on if the track's going to dry up, I suppose.
It rains always. Could you get a no stop done?
You could definitely get a no stop done. Of course, you're going to be a bit more tardy on your tyres. You're going to be slipping and sliding. Tyre wear will become a factor. You're going to hope that the dry line isn't too prominent. We're already seeing signs of it starting to form. So I would expect it to
Ferrari's
stop.
gone round. Tommy Reals had a moment. That's never a good sign for the race. He's lost it on the exit of turn 13. And I tell you what, you know that first corner, like the one that we just said in a Formula 1 car is nothing. I'm not so sure that's a nothing corner anymore in these conditions.
Oh, my comments always come back to bite me, and thank you very much. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Can't wait for this. Still looks like we're going. I've not had any word from race control that we're going to abort.
Why would they abort? They would be ruining our fun, Rich. They would be like teasing us.
I thought maybe because of the you know, the quick starts. Someone readied up, but yeah, looks good to me. Tommy Real is not really feeling this one. Here we go. He's navigating his way back up the order, back into his grid slot, just ahead of his teammate of Dacey into position 2. We're getting ready here in Russia, in Sochi, for round 1 of the Republic of Motorsport. And here is Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm here for the race start. It's Vettel on pole, Tommy Real in P2, it's rain. It's going to be so tricky for the cars to get the traction off that launch that they need. And we wait as we're just making sure everybody's all synced in, all synced up properly. And the lights now come on ahead of the drivers, who will be leading by the time we get down towards turn 2, the first braking zone on the circuit. It's lights out, and away we go. And it looks like Vettel's got a poor start, and Tommy Real flying off the start. Already up into that first corner. It's going to follow him through. Rooney's made the places off the line as well, and they're all struggling with the grip through that first bend, but they've all managed to survive. We've got cars side by side all the way down the Alpha Tower, late on the brakes. They're looking down the inside. Vettel's lost 3 places off the start as Rooney sent one down the inside there. He's struggling for grip here in the heavy rain. You've got Dyslexic having a look for the lead. He's down the inside at turn 3. It's got to make sure he doesn't drift out wide. It's the side of the Ferrari, and Tommy Real holds on and he maintains that lead going through those first sequence of corners.
Everyone's squirming around trying to get the power down, but the back end is just saying no thank you. There's too much standing water as it is, and it just aquaplaning around. The car's really sideways and more like drift kings than Formula 1 drivers as it is, and going too wide in the background here. And
also got Tommy Real's. Tommy Real's got a battle with Rooney. Tommy Real, I think, has made a mistake because Dyslexic's got 3 into the lead. Rooney's just had a go at him, has to tuck in behind there. But Tommy Real, we were just praising him for holding on off the start, but he's lost that position already, and it's Dyslexic who looks to pull away in the race lead.
It's going to be so easy just to spin up the rear tyres. We're going to lose a position as we look down the order. Yannians and Dunsworth having a good old ding-dong battle, and it's an inter-team battle of the Banana Skin Renos, and someone is around in the background. I think there was some damage there. Couldn't quite pick up who it was. Just caught it off camera. Oh, maybe a bit of lag. Oh, no, it looks like Orange Walker is having a mare of a start, but Dyslexic leads us through lap 1 of the Grand Prix. Well, let's not say it yet. He hasn't got around the final corner, but he's had a good start so far. Tommy Real into P2. Rooney has made up a couple of positions like we thought he would. And Vettel is the real loser off the start of this one. And there's battles all the way through the order. And what's happened to...
It's the timing tower glitch, don't worry. It happens every race. We're on lap 2, it's not lap 3. The timing tower's doing its own thing as per usual. Let's give it a moment and it'll be right back with us.
And Drazzy's made his way into pit lane. Maybe some damage picked up on the first lap of this race here. And
whoa, Dyslexic just had a moment. He got caught on the curb at turn 3. He's gone very wide. That's going to allow Tommy Real to go down the inside, and Rooney's having a look in there as well. They're going to go 3 wide for the race lead on the run down towards turn 5. Tommy Real has taken it. Rooney holding on around the outside, and they're still going to go wheel to wheel. Oh, Dyslexic just struggling for grip. Rooney still on the outside. Can he get this one done? It looks like he will, and he does. What a move there for Rooney. Tommy Real's back into the lead. Oh, Dyslexic, I think he got a tap from behind there from Vettel. That's causing him to get so wobbly, so loose. He's been hit again by Vettel. Vettel trying to bully his way through here.
That's allowing Dacey to enter, throw his hat into the ring, and he's going to line up and move on Vettel. He's going to come down this back straight here. Of course, no DRS in effect, and thank God for that. Into this heavy braking zone. Who's going to blink first? And Dyslexic brakes quite late here. Dacey's looking to get the sort of the wet line on that karting line and try and get on the power a bit earlier, but Dyslexic holds his place. And Tommy, some excellent driving. Rooney now up to P2 and really taking advantage of others' mistakes. So winners and losers: Dunsworth up 7, Drazzy down 7, Rooney is up 3. They're the real winners. Everyone else is taking it extra cautious, it seems. And at the back of the pack, Drazzy way off the back of the pack now after that early pit stop.
And say something else about driving in the rain. Your battery management pretty much goes out the window. You've got those extended braking zones. There's a lot more harvesting, and that allows you to use the battery a lot more. You've got Dunsworth makes the move on his teammate. That's that one done nice and easy. We've got lucky Lambert and Dacey side by side there as well.
Bartolo and Yanni Hans having a good old ding-dong again.
Oh, we've got a car on the wall. Dunsworth has just slip and slided. He's waiting to the barriers on the inside at turn 3. And I was just going to say, if you've got a car that's set up to oversteer, that turn 3 is going to be painful in these low grip conditions. We've got, the Alfa Romeo Ludlow's just hit the back of him and broken his front wing. It's all kicking off here in the rain at the Sochi Autodrome.
Yeah, they're all jostling for position. A big train of cars. Someone is around into the barrier. Yanni Hans is spun. He's around. Oh, so unfortunate. Our first time penalty picked up as well on the grid. And we've got yellow flags out. Doesn't look like a safety car.
It's just all suddenly all gone wrong in the space of a sector. The two Renaults, they've both been involved in incidents. We've got Westerns and the Despicable Dogs going side by side, and the AlphaTauri, he broke very late there. I thought he was about to slide into the back of Westerns, but he got it stopped in the end. Nicely done there as Lawn gets the back end going out, and I think the racing point behind was slow as well. That has the AlphaTauri down the inside. That's the Despicable Dogs and Westerns. They're still side by side going into the final few corners. They're struggling so much with gripping. Are they both going to bail into pit lane? No. Someone's just kicked out the bollard there. Dogs kicked up the bollard on his way into the pits.
And he did have damage, so he'll be getting a fresh wing change, we expect. Oh, Mia, you do not know where to look on this grid at this moment in time. Tommy and Rooney still battling out front. Dunsworth has retired from the session. We hope that's in pit lane. It does appear so.
Yeah, we got lots of cars having to make those early pit stops for front wing damage. It's so easy to make a mistake now here in the rain. We've seen that already. Dunsworth leaves the session. He has successfully thrown in the towel, had enough after just 4 laps of racing.
Yeah, he's thrown his toys out the pram. He's not happy about that. We always say stick at it, especially in these kind of conditions, Matt. You can change from one lap to the next. All we need is a quick safety car, and that can happen at any given moment, considering the conditions we have today.
Yeah, we got Yanni Hand putting a move on Orange Orca there. Nicely done for him. I think Orange Orca has got a bit of front wing damage as well, so he's going to be especially struggling in these conditions. You need as much grip as you can get in the rain, and that's not what the Haas driver will have.
Rooney keeps closing up to Tommy Real, but then he keeps dropping back again. So, again, very easy to get overly confident.
He's gone deep. He's gone in wide. He's gone very wide. That's how Daisy to dance right around the outside in the final sector. Can he hold on? He'll be on the outside for the next corner. The Williams brakes late. It's very easy in the off camber to slide out wide. They're still side by side going through the rest of this final sector. Just a couple corners to go, and I think Dyslexic has got the better line and pulls ahead. He's gone deep again. He's just missed his braking point, and he allows Daisy back at the inside through the final corner. He'll get squeezed out on the exit, you'd think. And I think that is Daisy up and ahead. Unless, of course, the Williams can fight back as they run through the first corner, and he does tuck in behind. But expect some late braking as they arrive at turn 2.
And the cars in the background are gaining all the time. These guys are battling in 2 by 2 as we go down into turn 1. The Williams goes deep. Someone picks up a penalty. That's Lucky Lambert. And they're still battling through turns 3 now. And be careful to get on the power. Overheat your tyres and you're going to be straight round. Oh, a bit of a drift there for the Ferrari of Daisy. Just holds on to it. And the Williams with the better exit running wide. That looks like it would be a warning for him. And all the time, they're just losing time now to the leaders, Matt. 5.7 seconds the gap.
Yeah, and we got the Despicable Dogs who's retired in pit lane. But yeah, all the time these guys battle, they cost themselves time to the leader. They are more likely to pick up time penalties for track limits. It is costing them.
Now Vettel is feeling punchy. He wants to get past Lambert at the first available opportunity, but it's putting James on his rear wing, and he's had a moment. Vettel's lost the back end, and he's going to lose the position to James, who's going to have the momentum surely to get past him now as we rock it down the back straight, or the back wiggly bit, shall we say, down into the heavy braking zone. And yep, it's the Racing Points position up into P6.
Yeah, and that's why we say you should just stick at it in these conditions, because all it takes is a little mistake and you're finding time, you're finding places. It'll be absolute chaos all the way to the flag, and we don't know if this rain is going to let up at any point as well. We didn't get a weather forecast from any of the drivers going into this one, unfortunately.
But some real good racing on display today. A great sign of things to come for the rest of this year. And Vettel is out of the session. What has happened, Matt? Have you seen what's happened?
I have not seen what has happened. I'm just trying to... Has he done that in the pits? I think he might have done. Done that for?
Oh, Vettel. He was doing an excellent showing. Should have stuck at it whether he had damage or not. It looks like in pit lane. And whilst we're talking, Dyslexic seems to have got past Dacey back into P3. Don't take your eyes off this one.
Yeah, it's so easy just to look away for a split second, but you're going to miss all the action. Well, we've got Pullen and Thron Half very close together. I think Thron Half just got the move done there on the Alpha Tauri. And he can now attempt to pull away. We've got James has now got ahead of Lucky Lambert as well. Lambert, I think he's got wing damage. Has he had an off somewhere in the Haas?
Have a look, looks like yes, the front wing has got extensive damage there on the Haas on the left hand side, and that's really going to be costing him, especially around here with track limits. You need your front wing at the best of times, especially in these treacherous conditions here today. And Dacey really on the charge now, and he's got Dyslexic in his sights. Going to make the move surely, come the main straight, almost kisses the rear end of that Williams. Really seems content out front just to stay with Tommy Real at this point in the race.
Yeah, he's biding his time. You can do that in the rain as well sometimes. Just sit behind and wait for the guy ahead to make a mistake. Putting that pressure on Tommy Real. We'll see how Tommy copes with that pressure. As we've got Sink and Dacey coming on to the main straight. And expect to see this battle resume. They both struggle for traction so much on next to that last corner. Just trying to put the throttle down. Ready for the battle going into the first corner. Is Dacey going to send it? He's gaining, but it's just going to be too far behind. And Dyslexic again just goes a little bit deep into the corner. Dacey had a look to the inside, but took a bit too much curve, perhaps, and that unsettled the car. And they're going to have to follow each other down and through turn 3, as we just saw Dacey and James both get a bit sideways there.
Yeah, Rooney is ever closer now, under half a second behind Tommy Real, and he looks extremely confident through sector 1. We're hearing from Vettel as well in the paddock that he's had plenty of connection issues, lagging 90% of the time, and he apologises to anyone for any madness caused in the opening stint. We're on lap 7 of 27 here, 20 more laps of this beautiful magic. Can't it rain every week, man?
Well, speaking of the rain, is it lightening up? Because I'm seeing, if we switch to tyre graphics, some guys on the Inters.
And a bit of contact there. It was Yanni Jans and Racing Carl kicking very argy-bargy. But yes, tyres, Drazzy and Ludlow both opting for the Inters. Has Jeff been on the blower? Is that what we're thinking? How does it look on track 2, Matt?
Wet is the answer to that one. Yeah, very slippy. But these guys, I don't know whether they pitted to damage and just thought, you know what, risk it. Or are they boxing? And it is time for the Inter tyre. And Jeff has been on the radio. He's been telling them Inter tyre. They're not all coming in. Dyslexic and Dacey stay out. They're going to stick with the wets. And we'll see if that costs them in this slippery and dangerous changeover period.
Both McLarens have boxed. Lorna's also stayed out. And quite a few choosing to stay out and maybe to go a bit deeper into this race to ensure that the Inters do last to the end of the Grand Prix. I think they should at this point, don't you, Matt?
Yeah, and Rooney had a front wing change there, so he's picked up damage at some point. Perhaps that's why he was just not able to make the move on the car ahead. And is that going to cost him any places? I don't think so. Unless, of course, he loses out when Sink, Dyslexic and Dacey pit.
He's lost a chunk of time to Tommy Real, but of course that fresh front wing will give you extra confidence, extra pace within the car towards the end of the Grand Prix. And yeah, but to finish on the podium, first you're going to have to finish this Grand Prix because it's not a given. Hell of a long way to go. And Dacey is closing in once again. It's been a great battle between these two so far.
Swap and change, a bit like it is in go-karting. Can Daisy make the move as they arrive at turn 13? No, he cannot. Has to just tuck in behind, and we expect these guys to come into the pits at the end of this lap. So it will be over to the pit crews, Ferrari versus Williams. And, I mean, history will tell us that it should be Williams who get the faster pit stop. Ferrari have got a habit of forgetting to change tyres quickly.
They'll just forget the tyres as well, you know. They'll be too busy having an espresso or something like that in the pit lane. James is going to stay out and take the lead of this Grand Prix. So let's see if this pays off. It does definitely look like the line is drying up considerably at this point.
Yeah, we're going to see, what I want to see is where Dyslexic is going to come out in comparison to Rooney. Of course, the gap was around about 5-6 seconds to Rooney before the stops, but then Rooney lost that big chunk of time having to change the wing. So we're going to see where they are as we come to the pit exit. I think Rooney has done enough and he will stay ahead of those guys. So no track position lost for Rooney, just some time to his rival out in front.
As they come out the pits, they're still nose to tail, Dyslexic and Dacey. As we go into turn 1, they're already trying to make a move, Dacey. And Dyslexic just holds on to that current P4. Of course, James yet to stop. Of course, if you stay out longer, you're always protecting yourself as well from a potential safety car. But in the long run, you're sort of stealing time from yourself. These guys who have switched onto the Inter, if they get it turned on, they have extra pace, and the undercut is going to be huge at this point.
Do we potentially think, if the rain's dried up a bit now, do we think we're going to slick soon? And is that potentially James trying to stay out and risk it until we get to slick tyres?
It's been a crash.
Something gone on. Yeah. Razzy's gone off, as has Orange Orca. Orca's got front wing damage, although I don't think he stops. That might be from earlier. But yeah, Drazzy's gone around as well, so there's been some kind of coming together there.
Yeah, maybe getting a bit adventurous down into turn 1. The pinch point really comes from that quick right left.
Yeah, I don't particularly like that first corner with that braking zone. It just kind of stops any side-by-side action, the way the little kink on the exit comes up to meet you. It's not ideal.
It'd be better with more of a flowing corner. You could try and get a different line. Maybe go wheel to wheel a bit more, but it is what it is. One of the most boring tracks on the calendar, but not today. Not with this group of lads. Never.
We've got, I think the closest guys are still Dacey and Dyslexic, and it's just they're finding that rhythm now. They're getting more into the swing of things, and that's allowing Dyslexic to not make those mistakes that we saw from him early on and maintain the position ahead of the Ferrari driver.
James was sitting around P4. He stayed out and he's in danger of getting overtaken by the leader in just a couple of laps' time. The gap is coming down massively. I'm saying more than 3-4 seconds a lap at this point. He's really struggling. He'll be overheating them wet tyres at this point.
Yeah, if he's hoping to stay on them until it goes to slicks, he better hope it stops raining soon. And I doubt that's going to happen, because it still looks like it's raining pretty hard out there. The Inters are just coping at the moment, which is why they're the fastest tyre. And like you say, Tom Real is going to be right on the back of the current race leader in a lap or two time.
So if you're new to the Republic of Motorsport, or you're watching a replay back over on the YouTube channel, the ROM official channel, then it's broadcasted live every Sunday at 4:30, of course, dependent on the actual F1 events taking place every Sunday. And get over to Twitch, ROM official, and ROM F1 official, apologies, is the tag. And yeah, tune in live, join us on board for some key battles, and James has bit the bullet now.
Yep, perhaps deciding that alternate strategy was not going to be the way to go. Dacey picks up a 3 seconds time penalty. That's going to cost him in his battle against the Williams. Got yellows in sector 2. I think we've got Weston's gone round, and he's in the barriers. Oh, Weston's has made the spin, he's collected the wall, he's smashed his front wing into pieces. and he'll be hoping for a safety car or something now to bring him back into this race.
Aye. Anything's possible, but Orange Joker also looks like he's cruising at this point. Big damage there on the Haas. The last two cars on track. Really suffering at this point.
Got Pullen has just pulled ahead of Aki, so potentially Aki making a mistake or going on there.
Yeah, very wide off track.
Orange Orca picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's really not been his race today. He's just struggled in the rain.
Brazzy all over the back of Carl. Carl really struggling under traction there. And Brazzy's just got to take his time. Don't want to try and send it through these next sequence of corners. Just get a good exit onto the back straight. Pick up the toe and use your confidence under brakes. And talking of confidence, the man in form, Rooney, is really starting to close the gap now. It's down to 3.6 seconds, that gap to the lead.
Yep, he has found that confidence in the clean air to make those gains. Here comes Strazzy on the back of racing car. He's got the slipstream, he's using his battery. He's going to be forced to go the long way around as the Red Bull squeezes him right up to the wall. Leaves the car's width and nothing else. But it doesn't matter because Strazzy's going to steam right around the outside, put himself up in the P12.
Excellent move, good respect shown there. Carl did try and squeeze him as much as he could, but when he realised there was no more space left, he did allow him through, and good overtake there from Drazzy. Excellent move up into P12. Still work to do here. 14 seconds to the next car ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got plenty of work to do, and there's still plenty of time for him to do that though. We've got lots still to come here in this race.
Orange Orca and Westerns now getting laps, and Dyslexic and Lacey still toe to toe on track.
Yeah, Lacey is pretty close there. 4/10 is the gap. The thing is, we're then both able to use overtake pretty much all the time. It makes it so tricky to just gain that straight line advantage, then have a go into the corners.
Yeah, again, look after your tyres at this point because there's still a long way to go. It only takes one break of traction, and going to overheat and cook them. As you can see the Ferrari dancing around that prancing horse. And gap to the lead now, 3.4 seconds, so slowly nibbling away.
Yeah, Tommy Real has done an excellent job so far. He took the lead off the start, and he's just been holding Rooney at bay for the time being, but expect the McLaren to close right onto the back of the Ferrari, and they'll be battling to the end of this race.
As we take a quick look after the pit stops, front half is up 9 positions, pulling up 6, Rooney's up 3, Tommy's Real jumped 1 position, Racing Carl up 6, and yeah, some real losers which are out of the Grand Prix unfortunately, and Weston's down 8 positions as it stands.
We've got the Haas of Lucky Lambert just closing onto the back of Lexic and Data. He will be on that battle in just a few moments time as the Ferrari runs out wide. It's really slipping slightly loose there. Racing Carl has left the session in the pits. His AI is going to drive around the race. Nice.
Can't take the credit for the AI getting you to the finish line. It's not how it works. And Lucky Lambert, he's taken huge chunks. In that last lap alone, it's about 1 second he's taken out of this battle ahead of him. He was 1.8 seconds last time I checked in. It's now hovering around that second margin. And I think Dacey has got the hurry up. He knows he's got to get past Dyslexic.
Yeah, Dacey will be starting to feel that pressure from behind. That's going to cause him to want to get a move on and get ahead of Dyslexic and build the gap, because remember he's got that 3-second time penalty. He's got to get ahead and build 3 seconds, which is definitely easier said than done.
Rooney now hovering around a 3-second margin for the lead of this Grand Prix. So again, taking about another half a second out of the lead of Tommy Real.
AC looking to the inside. There's too far behind to make a move. Using quite a lot of curb there on the inside as well. Probably unsettles the car quite a lot in these wet conditions. But he's close to get 3/10 there. AC perhaps feeling like he might be able to pull away if he got that clean air. But he has to get the move done to do it. And yeah, Lambert has just picked up the 3-second time penalty. And I think that's his second of the race as well, so that will cost him.
Indeed, he had a bit of a moment. The car drifted wide over the line and picked up a penalty for good measure.
So when did these guys put their tyres on? Around about lap 9, lap 10-ish. So they've got to do about 18 or so laps on them. You would expect the Inters to be able to do that, but we're seeing a lot of sliding going on, and that's not good for your tyre wear, funnily enough. So perhaps we might be expecting some cars to have to make a pit stop before the end.
Yes, that you're going to have to think about managing your heat in your tyres as it is. They're going to be starting to warm up and overheat when you're moving the car around like that. So you've just got to be a bit more delicate on the throttle inputs and also less aggressive on the steering wheel. Try and short shift up through the gears if we can. And we've got a yellow flag. It looks like a Haas in trouble.
Yeah, that's Orange Orca who's retired on track, and that is a safety car deployed. So we'll see if he comes to the pits. Lucky Lambert instantly dives in for fresh tyres. The thing is, you're going to be going for fresh inters, and James is sped under safety car. James.
No, James.
James.
James, this is James. This is not good.
Oh, you don't need to do that. It's a safety car. You got nothing to gain. We needed to have Jeff in there doing like Bono did, where he's like Delta, 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 Delta.
And this could be lucky for Lambert. He's back out on track in P8 after making his stop. See where the safety car picks up the leaders.
The leaders did not catch the safety car before it exited pit lane. But what that does mean for them is that they still get, because everybody's just doing the Delta, they can still have a go at making their pit stop. Well, most people are doing the Delta.
I think it's a slam dunk. You've got to go in for a pit stop, don't you, Matt? Put a fresh set of inters on. You're going to have that much more margin, that much more tread, and definitely get you to the end. What's your thoughts?
I think a pit stop is going to be the way to go. We saw some cars struggling for grip early on. They've definitely taken a lot out of their tyres already, so it's definitely worth coming in, I think.
So what this has done, though, is just wiped out Tommy's advantage. He had a 3-second advantage over Rooney before the safety car, and that is going to be completely gone. Rooney's going to be rubbing his hands together. Give ads, come on, speeding in the pit lane. Struggling to get the car stopped, it seems.
Yeah, so we've got the two leaders have boxed. Dyslexic will go in. Dacey has stayed out. Oh, that does make things interesting.
You know, and it's good to go opposite sometimes, because you never know, on a safety car restart in these conditions as well, you could instantly get another safety car when there's so many cars wheel to wheel, you know, and it could play into his favour.
James has picked up. Yeah, he's picked up 3 seconds for multiple warnings behind the safety car. Oh dear, it's not. Safety car's not gone well for James, to say the least. It's a Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. I'm liking that. I haven't seen that for a while. Oh, and what is going on here? Why is Dacey stopped?
Oh, Tommy.
What?
Tommy.
I don't know what's happened. I think we're all good.
Seems so. Two drivers with a drive-through. It's James and Aki both with drive-throughs to serve off the restarts. Other penalties is Dacey with 3, 4.5 on 3, as well as Pullen. Yannians, Ludlow, guys on 6 seconds. We've got Lucky Lambert and Racing Carl, and Gibbons has 8 seconds worth. We catch the safety car, start to form the train. And most guys are opting for a 2-stop, apart from Dacey is currently on a 1 front half as well. Ludlow's been in for 3 stops, and Gibbons 4 stops.
So, while we wait for everybody to form up behind safety car, I heard that the F1 Virtual Grand Prix is back tonight. The Austrian Grand Prix. What do you make of that Virtual Grand Prix? Is it something you want to watch, something you enjoy watching, or do you think it's all a bit of a shambles?
It's a bit of a shambles, Governor. You know, they have no damage on. You know, they don't play the game properly. That was my general thoughts when I last watched it. You know, they're going around Monaco bouncing off the walls. Is one of the memories I do have. So yeah. I don't know if they had. I think they had the safety car turned off as well, if I remember correctly. There was just a few things as a league racer which didn't sit right with me. Yeah. What was your thoughts about it?
I think, right, when they have esports drivers doing it, along with some F1 drivers doing it, who don't really play the game, but they are professional drivers, so they'll be alright. And then celebrities who seem to have never played a racing game in their life before. It's not ideal, because you've got those esports drivers who are out front, miles ahead of everybody else.
Yep.
You've got the celebrities that are just at the back, and you're not really sure what they're doing. Like, you can't even keep it on the road. And for something that was meant to be, to have the race with all the Formula 1 drivers in, I think tonight there's only 3 actual Formula 1 drivers in it.
What do they call it again? What's the event name? F1.
I don't know.
It used to be not the Grand Prix, and it was F1 was cancelled. But
right, there was the not Oz, not Bar GP and stuff like that Veloce did, which was a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then there was the Virtual Grand Prix. The Veloce stuff was better because they had a few more like creators in there. And they did some different formats and they tried some different stuff. I preferred all the Veloce stuff. I think they should have put Veloce in charge of doing the official F1 stuff, to be honest, rather than F1 trying to do their own thing. It just didn't really work to start with.
So we've got Matt Gallagher on the comms, it seems, for tonight.
You love that. Do love a good bit of Matt Gallagher.
We've clearly been distracted by the actual event that's going on today, but yes, 6 PM, esports virtual Grand Prix. It'll be on Sky Sports F1 if you want to tune in later on. I think it'll be on YouTube as well. Just trying to find the entry lists. But Thibaut Courtois, who's a goalkeeper, and he's got Pieface as his teammate. Pieface.
Pieface, do you love to see it? I think I saw Samit Marduk and Jimmy Broadbent doing it. They're quite well known in the F1
no puntery, no
general...
Jim up.
There you go, they're quite well known in the gaming community, so they're definitely ones who will have a lot of support tonight. I know they're 2 I watched, and I think they're on the same team as well. That's pretty cool.
What is this? Is this for tonight? Yes, we've got Van Dorn and Ant Davidson in the Mercedes.
Okay, so we got some X Formula 1 there. Nice.
Liuzzi, as well as Luca Salvadori in the AlphaTauri.
Not decent lineups there.
2 Fittipaldis.
I think we got 2 Fittipaldis.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Pietro and Enzo Fittipaldi, both in the Haas.
We have some bit of rivalry there going on. Well, we'll see how it goes this time. Hopefully it's a little bit better than last time. Although I doubt it, 'cause I think they've got less F1 drivers. They've just got the 2 Williams drivers are there. They'll have Russell and Latifi, and I think Albon's doing it as well. Other than that, they've got Leclerc's brother.
He's quite good. He's very good.
Yeah. He's alright, but it's not Charles, is it? It's not the actual Formula 1 driver. It's his brother who does Formula 3. Has he got Formula 3? FIA Formula 3 seat this year, I think I heard.
You could be right. Sounds correct to me.
Yeah. We might get another Charles making his way up the ranks towards Formula 1 in the near future.
I was a big Charles fan, Charles Leclerc, when I used to watch him in F2. I used to go to Silverstone. He was a cut above the rest and looked beautiful in that F2 version of the Ferrari car. And expect big things from him in the future. I think he's a definite world champ in the making.
Yeah, just got to cut out a few of those mistakes. Needs that bit more experience. I don't think he's quite at the championship level yet, but he is going to get there. I think it's safe to say. And we have, switching back to the Republic of Motorsport, we have a safety car in this lap, and we are getting ready to go racing again. So Dacey will back the field up. He becomes the effective safety car, and he will choose when to they get going and racing once again. He's probably backed him up, hasn't he? Jeez.
Back it up, back it in. Let me begin. Dacey will lead us off on the line here. It's Ferrari on the lead, and Weston's is the lapped car, and he's going to throw a spanner in the works here because he's nowhere near the leader of this one.
He's going to go through a lot of pain on this restart, having to let everybody go, and as someone real past him, you can't do that, mate.
No.
He's had to let him back through, and now he's going to back them all up because they all can't pass him. There we go. We are now racing again, and Rooney's gone past. He's got such a poor exit. Has Tommy Rooney fallen down the order? Rooney's up in a P2. So Dacey leads them away on his old and worn into tyres. And it's Rooney behind, ahead of front half. There's Tommy Rooney now down to P4. Already broken the Ferrari one. So we're just a bit too eager there to clear the back marker. He looks to go down the side of that front half pretty much straight away. At turn 3, down the inside. You've got the Alfa Romeo holding it on the outside. Who's going to have to go late on the brakes into turn 4, and I think it's Tom Morrill who'll go down the outside and get that one done.
A good recovery there, but he's really shot himself in the foot. Yeah, even under the safety car, you can't overtake a lapped car. Only a lapped car can overtake you when the race control give you the green light to do so. And there's a change of positions further down the order. Drasky gets ahead of Aki and moves himself up into that final points paying position and gets a poor exit. And it looks like Ludlow wants a piece of the action as well. He's hot on the heels of Yanni Jans in the battle for P12.
Yeah, and we've got Dyslexic is looking all over the back of front half. He's gaining all the time on the straight. He's using that slipstream to good effect. Is he going to send one here? We'll have to wait and see. He chooses not to, and tucks in behind and waits for a later opportunity.
Blue flags there as Weston's is trying to get out of the way of this charge impact. And yeah, 1.9 seconds is the gap for Dacey to Rooney. Tommy Reel is now the chaser. He has to hunt down Rooney after earlier leading this Grand Prix.
We've got James Pitts to serve that drive-through penalty, as does Aki. They're going to have to hope for another safety car to bring them back into this. As yeah, we come back onto the main straight, and for Rooney here, he's in a bit of a dilemma. Because yes, he does not need to pass Dacey. Dacey's got a time penalty, he can just sit behind and he'd still take the win. But him and Tommy Roll behind, they're going to have far better pace than the lead Ferrari on their fresh inters. If Rooney sits behind, is he just opening himself up to a pass from Tommy Reel as the Ferrari there just got a bit twitchy on acceleration?
Just inserted himself into that racing point. Yeah, that's really distracting at this point.
I don't think that's on from Weston's, to be honest. I know that ghosting's on, and the lap guys will argue, oh, well, we're ghosted, so they can just drive through us, we're not in the way. No, you are in the way. You're a massive distraction, and you will always be costing them time. Just accept that you're out of this one and get out of the way.
Blue flag, blue flag.
It's a shame the game doesn't the blue flag penalties go out the window now when they go to. I don't think that's right. I think you should still get penalised if you don't get out of the way.
Here comes the move. Dyslexic in front half. Going ding dong. Dyslexic can get the move to done.
Nicely done from Dyslexic. He clears front half. He can set after Tommy Real, who was leading this race, of course, now dropped down to P3 after Daisy didn't pit under the safety car. And then Tommy Real just lost those places on the restart for passing the Racing Point too early. Now, the Racing Point just seems to want to make him keep having to repass him. But I think we're all clear of that now.
Of course, front half and Daisy were the guys that didn't box for a fresh set. And you can really see it's really a pain in the backside for front half. He's struggling for traction out the corner. And here comes Lambert. He's going to have a look down into turn one and try and get this position done.
That's the tuck in behind. Good defensive driving from Thornhill to defend the inside, but the switch back from Lucky Lambert. He's got such better traction on those fresh tyres. He'll have to hold it around the outside, which is easier said than done. He'll squeeze the Alfa Romeo if he can. Lose his grip on the wet part of the track. And that allows Thornhill to go straight back around the outside and maintain P5 for the time being.
Rooney's really motoring along now and closing in. Under a second is the gap to Daisy. And you know Rooney, he's going to send it first available opportunity because he needs to build the gap, like you say, to Tommy Real. The longer he spends behind him, the slower he's going to get, and the more it's going to open him up to Tommy taking advantage. Of course, a long way to go. You can still pick up a penalty. Lap 21 of 27 in this Grand Prix. Anything can and will happen.
Yeah, it's still, I was just going to say it's still raining, which is why anything can happen. It's actually not raining anymore. Maybe this race has got one last punch to give us. Expect the switch to dry tyres coming up in a few laps time potentially.
Yeah, I think we might run out of laps to be honest, Matt. I think we could go to the end on these tyres. We're about to find out as we come around the final corners. I think Rooney is going to get a run on Daisy down into turn one and have better traction, and he's gaining quick enough as it stands. Daisy is on the bump.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky to get the move done, but you say we might not get that switch to dry tyres. It all just depends if the track dries up, because the key thing here, be on the right tyre at the right time. If the track is ready for dries, even if you're going in just 2 laps to go and you think, now I'll lose so much time pitting, I may as well just stay out on the inside. Don't do it. The best thing you can do is just go to the slicks, even if it's just for 1 lap, because you will find so much time on the guide around you.
Yeah, we had a circumstance like that last year in the HSA. Final few laps around the Singapore Grand Prix. I think it was Harvey who slapped on the soft tyre and really motored through the field. Everyone's spinning up their intermediate tyres, which were just cooking because they're only designed to be wet. And yeah, he won the Grand Prix, I believe, in the end. And let's see.
Yeah, I do remember that one, Rich, because I remember having you right behind me those final 2 laps. I broke my front wing trying to pass someone who hadn't boxed for inters. I'd pitted for slicks, the guy hadn't, and I caught him at the worst possible time. I broke my wing on him, and I had you right behind me through the final sector on the last lap. And yeah, that was some nervous moments. Just like Daisy is going to be experiencing now, as Rooney pressuring him all the way as we head on towards lap 23. Daisy holding on for now.
Front half as well, trying to hang it out there. These guys on 12 lap old, make that 13 lap old inters. The rest of the guys half of that life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it does dry up and we do switch to slicks. That's going to help them out massively, because then, as far as I'm concerned, they've played the strategy absolutely masterfully, as they'll be able to pit and hopefully maintain some good track position. Tommy Real's not had the pace to close up to the guy's head like I thought he would. I thought he would have the pace over his teammate with the fresher tyres, and yeah.
Daisy had a little snap under braking, and Rooney is really turning the screw now. He's getting impatient. He wants to get it done. He's starting to lose some time to Tommy at this stage. Losing the 10th every couple of corners to Tommy. Needs to get it done.
Yeah, and that's what we say. It was fine for him to sit behind as long as he had he could cover off Tommy Real. As soon as Tommy Real starts gaining, he needs to just get this one done. And to be fair, again, I know I keep doing it if we go to slicks, but if we go to slicks, Rooney we think had the wet setup on, or at least a setup that was far more orientated to the rain. If it dries up, he's going to be struggling, isn't he?
Yeah, he won't have as good a straight line speed, and probably a lot of downforce on that car. Probably higher the ride heights, etc. Maybe soften the springs. But here we go. Only a few to go, and it's all to play for. Tommy now 2 seconds behind this battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. Rooney closer than ever. It's a little moment trying to get on the power, and that's just going to enable Dacey just to hold station as we come down into turn 1. Rooney's going to give it absolutely everything.
No, it's just not enough at the moment, and Tommy Real is now 2 seconds behind. He's around half a second on the guy's head on that last lap. So do not count the Ferrari out of this. As the track dries up, it is sort of coming towards Tommy, and that's going to help him as we head into the closing stages. Do we reckon that Mr. Spinotto has been on the phone to Dacey and telling him, knowing that Dacey's got the penalty and isn't going to win the race anyway, to just perhaps hold up Rooney a little bit and give his teammate the best chance?
Yeah, the message will be, Dacey, Tommy is faster than you. Please hold up Rooney. Please hold up Rooney.
Just staying there. You can see Rooney so much more confident in the car ahead. He's just using so much more of the track. Oh, Dacey's had a moment that might open the door for Rooney, or will it? I think Dacey just recovered in time there. As I'm looking at the battery management, look how little battery Rooney's got left. You can tell he's been pushing these last couple of laps to try and get the move done. And yeah, he's struggling.
Yeah, advantage Dacey. And of course, the more it goes towards the dry conditions, the less the freshness of this inter tyre is going to be apart, because the tyre's just going to go off completely, whether it's 14 laps or 7 laps old. So Dacey looking pretty good here. Of course, he's got that penalty, but 1.6 seconds now the gap to Tommy Real. Come on, Tommy, scenario 7. Let's go and get this.
I'm just going to check the race director. So the 2 cars behind Dacey only have 1 warning each. We can expect them to probably keep it neat and tidy to the check flag, as Rooney just had a bit of lock up there. I think you may be right. I don't think we're going to get that switch to slicks now. We're still getting spray off the tyres with a couple laps to go, as Dacey just looks to be holding on neat and tidy as much as he can on those warm tyres. Yeah, perhaps really needs to start backing off Rooney into his teammate, and they can get the big points for the team.
It looked like Tommy lost about 4 attempts, maybe half a second there. This gap has gone back up once more, and maybe overdriving the car at this point. Yeah,
maybe. We've got Daniel from half, picks up a 3-second penalty. Lucky Lamb, I saw, picked up another one. I think he's up to like 9 seconds now on penalties. Yeah, yes, that is, especially that late stage car, that's going to send him plummeting down the order. So not good for him. He may not even get points at this rate.
So far, 4 cars have kept it nice and clean. And if they do that towards the end of this race, it's going to pay off big time on this opening round of the Republic of Motorsport. And oh, we got Aki out. Is that on track?
Aki, yeah, that is. He's had a spin and he's made his way into the barriers. It's too late for a safety car though, so we will continue to go all the way to the end. And yeah, look at the track now. It's very much close to the slick tires, and I think by the next lap, last lap, it will be ready for slicks. But it is now a case of it might just be too late to pit if it comes out on that last lap.
Really close to the rear end of Dacey down into turn 1, but he just being erring on the side of caution. I think he knows Tommy doesn't have the pace at this point in the race to really affect it, whereas we've started the penultimate lap here in Sochi. Dacey, you've drove valiantly, mate, and anything from here is a bonus. We know you've got that penalty, but you could be in line for a very good position considering you've stayed out 16 laps so far on them inters.
So it's 6 seconds is the penalty for Dacey, which means for now he's just holding on enough to take P3. He'll be ahead of Simply Dyslexic, and that's a very good drive for the Ferrari, taking those into tyres so far into this race. Got more yellows. We've got Williams, I think, Zab has had a moment and lost ground. He's down in P13, so it doesn't matter for points anyway.
So it's that time of the day that we start to consider your driver of the day. Who are your 3 contenders that you want to throw into the hat for driver of the day, mate?
Driver of the day. Well, we've obviously got Dacey up there for his on-track efforts, taking those ties so far. You've got Rooney, who's up there. He's probably going to take this win. He's kept it neat and tidy, kept it clean, which is all he needed to do. And we'll see if he can maybe take the win on track as well. And who else would you throw out there for driver of the day?
I've been thoroughly impressed by Tommy. I mean, he's doing an excellent job early on. He's going to be one of my contenders. Front half, too many penalties, is going to slip down the order. So we're going to say Lawn for keeping it penalty free as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy, the only reason I didn't put Tommy Real up there is he did kind of cost himself this one. You got to say, when he went too early trying to clear that back mark of traffic, he's got to be a bit more patient, I think. And he might have been up there where Rooney is now, in prime position to take the win, as Gavidzab has decided he does not want to do the final lap, and has pulled into the pits to save the engine, save the car, and has retired.
So who are we going for? We're going for Dacey?
Yeah, why not? I think it's his debut. It's his debut as well, and he's done so well on those tyres. I think we give it to Dacey.
So we hope you've enjoyed the first round of the Republic of Motorsport here in Sochi. What a way to start off the season with a wet Grand Prix. It's been a thrilling race throughout. Rooney is going to go for the move. He wants to get it done before the end of the race. He's gone up the inside and moved himself onto P1 in track. That one is definitely for pride. He didn't need to make it stick, and he's going to come around the final few corners. The man is going to pick it up where he left off. He was dominating last year up at the top of the order with Stubbs, and he's going to win this one here, the opening Grand Prix. And Tommy Real's going to finish P2 in style backwards across the line. Dacey with a valiant drive, holding on to P3 after that one-stop strategy when everyone else boxed under that early safety car. Dyslexic gets P4. Lawn gets his efforts rewarded with no penalties in P5. Pullen, a great effort for 6. Drazzy in 7th. From half comes home P8. Yanni Jans in P9. Lucky Lambert was a bit unlucky today, you would have to say. Was looking good early on. Gets a solidarity point in P10. But what a race. Did tail off a bit after that late safety car. Well, what did you make of that one, man?
For a race as chaotic and as crazy as that, we still ended up with the predictable winner. Rooney did well 6th flag. It was like real Formula 1, wasn't it? You can have a crazy race and it'll still be Hamilton who wins it.
Yeah, a bit like the Turkish Grand Prix, you know what I mean? You thought he was nowhere. He was nowhere. Oh, he's here. Hello.
Ah, he's there. And he's 40 seconds ahead of anyone. Nice.
Yes.
There you go. There's your podium celebrations. It is Rooney who lifts the trophy. And he can spray the celebratory champagne and celebrate his win side by side with the 2 Ferrari drivers who put up an excellent showing for us here today.
Yeah, the Ferrari strategist got it right. Told him to overtake under safety car before we got past the safety car line, and that's what really cost Tommy. Otherwise, I think we was robbed there of a good battle towards the end of that race, Matt.
Yeah, it kind of let Rooney go through, didn't it, and have the position he needed. It was a shame. Would have been nice to see Rooney really have to work for it, but still, nonetheless, it's a solid drive for him coming from P5 on the grid. In those conditions, he managed it all race, and he's got what he deserved. But it's Dacey who took the fastest lap as well in the end, so that's an extra cheeky bonus point for him.
Yeah, I mean, he stayed out that long on them tyres, and I think it was the second to last lap. He pulls out the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So credit where it's due. Big up, Daisy. What a drive.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive, fantastic race altogether. And I think we've got a few of the lads joining now for a post-race interview. Rooney, are you there?
I am there. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Rooney. First of all, big congratulations to yourself, sir, for winning the first race of the Republic of Motorsports season at the Russian Grand Prix. A strong drive from you from P5 on the grid. What did you make of that? Were you confident all the way that you could get it done?
No, wasn't confident, but I felt like I could win it. Me and Tommy had some really good pace in the full wets, which surprised me. I mean, we did a bit of racing in pre-season. He has good pace in the wet, but it did surprise me that he kept like a consistency up all the time. So fair play to him. And obviously Daisy had good pace in them old winters, but I pulled a nice little move in the chicane the last lap to take it on track. So it was a good race.
And who would you say, now we've seen the first race of the season, who do you think are going to be the people challenging you for the title this season?
It's difficult to say because quite a few people had troubles in the race. Like Sam Weston's didn't have a great race. He got done over a little bit. James as well with drive through. But from that race with Daisy, if he turns up, obviously he's your reserve. It's Tommy if he keeps up. So there's a lot of drivers. Lawn and Drazzy obviously had enough there as well. So it's going to be close.
Absolutely, it is, and we'll move over to the man who finished P3 in the end. Daisy, are you there? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Very strong showing from you here on what I do believe is your Republic of Motorsport debut. We saw you go for that alternative strategy. Do you regret that decision, or are you proud of that one that you made in the race there?
No, I think it's what got me the podium, honestly. Obviously, I saw people diving into the pits, and I just felt like I had enough life left in the tyres to take them to the end, and they did. So yeah, paid off, I think.
Yeah, big congratulations to you there, and as well for the fastest lap of the race at the end there on those worn tyres. Was very impressive stuff. Rich, anything you want to add?
No, huge credit to Daisy and to both of the boys. How much of a compromised strategy did you go for? Did you go for a full wet setup? And what was your thinking going into the race?
Me personally, I went for a full wet. I stapled up the suspension, put more air on. Basically, I did. And seemed to work. Just didn't have the straight line speed, which showed in the last stage of the race.
I was just running a dry setup. I kind of had about an hour practice beforehand. Kind of just grabbed a setup off of time trial and went with that, and it must have been a good setup because it was putting in some. It was quite good around the corners, pretty stable.
Bloody well done then, mate, for holding it down, getting the fastest lap with that setup on there. And a message from Tommy Real. He says, "Sorry, mate, my English sucks, but you can say I enjoyed that race." And yeah, if this is anything to go by, boys, we're in for a great season. What's the next round we got coming up, Rooney?
Round 2 obviously next week, same time at USA. That was quite a good race last year, so it should be a good one.
So we've got Penalty City for the opening round. We've had Russia out the way. We head to Kota. That is another real breaker of drivers. And yeah, join us for that one next week, same time, same place, of 4:30 every Sunday for the Republic of Motorsport. Any closing words from any of the boys?
Just if any drivers are watching, great numbers this week. So the most we've had ever in the league since we started in March. So thanks everyone.
Yeah, if I could just add, Rooney, mate, well played, mate. You just had like a pace over me, so I hope next week.
Fair play to them. That long on them inters, so well done.
So join me and Matt next week for round 2 from the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. If it's anything to go by, it's going to be a thriller. Don't miss it. And remember, go follow us on the Twitch, ROM F1 official, and also on the YouTube page to catch the post-race load of the session, so you can relive it to your heart's content. Thanks for watching. I've been CSR Skills, and we've had Matt in the booth with us today. We've been thoroughly entertained, and we'll join you again soon.